So hello guys, and welcome to the 4th episode of the 12 Days of Switchmas, and we have a pretty interesting one here with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I'm sorry for the lack of episodes over the past few days. There's been a little bit of a delay due to both me finishing finals, as well as the Paper Mario E3 2010 trailer dropping, since I had to cover that, since I've been a pretty big component of the search for that, but now we're back on track with the 12 Days of Switchmas episodes. So, yeah, with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, this one's a pretty interesting one. Like, it pretty much is a very basic port of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. As someone who's played the original game, like, all the way back since it first released in 2013, I can't believe that was 11 years ago. That's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, someone who's played the original game, I didn't really notice that many differences here. Really, the only notable upgrades are the fact that it's in 1080p, the new models and things, and some very slight changes in, like, different assets and things. There really isn't that much that was changed here. And it's pretty disappointing. There's even some kind of weird things about this port as well. Like, even though the models look a lot better, the lighting does kind of look off in a lot of areas. Like, it does kind of look awkward in some ways. It kind of looks like, I know this wasn't developed by Next Level, this was developed by Tantalus Media, but it looks like the early trailers for, like, some, like, Next Level games and everything, like, well, some of the games that Next Level Games develops, like, the first trailer for Mario Strikers Battle League, the first trailer for Luigi's Mansion 3, like, there's, like, a certain level of unpolishedness to it, like, if just I guess that's the best way of putting it, but it looks kind of off, it kind of looks like that, but yeah, and another thing is that it's 30 FPS, which is crazy! There is no excuse for why this shouldn't be 60 FPS. I know I was saying that it wasn't a big deal for Thousand Year Door, and that's because that was basically built from the ground up in a new engine. But Luigi's Mansion 2 HD does not have that excuse. It is literally just the 3DS game in HD. There is no reason why this should be 30 FPS. That is just crazy. But despite that, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it despite the issues that I had with it. Like, it's still a good way of playing Dark Moon. Like, that's why it is, like, not the bottom of this ranking. It's even better than Peach Showtime, because, yeah, I like Dark Moon. And this still is a good way of playing it. And honestly, I'd actually say that it's a better way of playing it, since you can actually use, the right analog stick, which makes it much more playable than the version on 3D. I know it was very playable and fun on the 3DS, but man, it is so much better with the right analog stick, honestly. It feels like it was made for it. Like, even though it technically wasn't being on the 3DS, but, I mean, the original game kind of was. So, I guess there is, like, it does kind of naturally work, since it is a Luigi's Mansion game and everything. But it still is pretty fun, and I still enjoyed it, like, despite the issues that I had with it. Like, I mean, some of the areas do look nice, I would say, despite the weird lighting. But, yeah, like, it's weird. In some parts of the game, it does look pretty good, and then others, it looks kind of off, like how I was saying earlier. But, yeah, just Dark Moon, I actually like it just as much as the original game. I mean, I know the original game does a lot of things better, but honestly, I actually really like the structure of Dark Moon, even though it's very different. Like, I like the fact that it's split up into different mansions, like each one has a different theme. I think that is pretty cool. And the mission structure works better than you think it would. Like, it seems like a really weird decision. To some people, almost seems like an oversight, kind of similar to something like the Bros items from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. It's something that seems really weird at first, but actually kind of works. Like, I actually really like it, and I think it kind of makes it seem like more interesting. Like it kind of seems like there's more things like playing out in different parts. And yeah, while I do prefer the structures of the original game and Luigi's Mansion 3, I still like the mission-based structure in Luigi's Mansion 2. It still is pretty fun. And I feel like people act like this game is more generic than it actually is. Because I still think this game does still have a lot of charm and personality to it. Like I was mentioning, the different themes for the mansions are pretty cool. Like the secret mine is really, in the old clockworks as well, are like really cool themes. And there's actually a decent variety of ghosts as well. Like, I mean, even though there's like a lot of the same ones that show up in certain areas, like there still is a decent selection here, I would say. And there still are some like pretty interesting characters too. Like there's the three sisters in like one of the areas, like, which is a pretty cool character, though a lot of them are basically just have the same designs, I would say. I guess that's where a lot of people are coming from when they're saying like this game does kind of seem more generic than the other Luigi's Mansion games, but still, I still think it has like a decent amount of personality here, like in terms of like the locations and different things like that. It's definitely not as generic as something like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, like post Wii, or like Paper Mario Sticker Star, or like a lot of other games from that era. It still does have a lot more charm and personality. But yeah, I can see where some people are coming from, but it still does have some charm to it. But yeah, even though this was a lackluster port, I still enjoyed it. And another thing that I liked was like the Scarescraper as well. I actually played that with the Meech up at Too Many Games. That was pretty fun, and it's nice that it's here and everything. I actually prefer the version here to Luigi's Mansion 3. I think it's a little more interesting with how it's kind of structured and everything. But yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Goodbye.